Hey, 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 you guys. Welcome to the Boiling Point Faith and Fire. This is where conviction meets confrontation. It is not your watered down sermon. And we're definitely not dishing out polite politics. Okay. Uh, this is raw faith, bold truth. If you're ready to stand for God and family and freedom in a world that has literally lost common sense, who is praising evil over what's good and just, then you are in the right place. And if you're fired up by what you hear today, I don't want you just to listen, okay? Get resourced. My co-host Rory isn't just dropping fire on the mic. He is literally coaching people into podcasting powerhouses and speakers. I caught an episode today of a new podcast he has. So he's doing big things, you guys. Find him on Facebook, get plugged in. And for those of you tired of Big Pharma's grip, I've got real solutions in your hands. Check the show notes for some really important links. And you can always reach out to me if you have questions about this. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Everything you hear is just our personal opinion. Not facts, but sometimes facts. Not professional advice, but sometimes common sense advice. And definitely not something you should take as gospel truth because that belongs to Jesus. Okay. So we're here to share our perspective, what we see happening and what we truly believe is going on in the world. And what you choose to do with that information is literally up to you. Good morning, Rory. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm fired up like always. I'm ready.
You are. I mean, ever since
Yeah.
we got together in the pre-interview, you've just been like, ready to go. This is
Yeah.
hilarious. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. But I have to give you a little bit of credit, on the podcast here. You have become incredibly powerful lately, like even more than normal. And you're just really kind of coming into this, sort of powerhouse, woman who's really killing things right now. So I just wanted to give you that
Yeah.
compliment. It's really, I'm enjoying your other podcast too, and the whole
Thank
bit.
you.
So
The
good
listen
stuff.
bitch. I appreciate that. And you know what it is? Honestly, it's God. It is finally just really getting the clarity and getting in that alignment of you guys, the government doesn't give a shit about you. They don't care about you. These people we talk about could care less. You're a useful idiot. They think we're stupid. They think we're all of them. It's all of them. Okay. Like we're useful idiots. And so when you start to realize that no one's coming to save you, you've got to find your voice. And I think anything that is built on a platform without Jesus is going to crumble. And so I've really locked in, locked into that. I read the Bible with my girls every day. I commit to trying to understand like my place and in that my voice. I'm excited. It's
Amen.
so
Amen.
effortless to just like be who God created you to be, co-create with him, and you get these crazy downloads. So, you guys, this stuff I talk about, like there's discernment here. I am not, you know, a fear mongering trying to get everybody to freak out and run for the hills. Like it is not that at all because what we know the truth. Like God won the battle. He won this battle. We know that victory is ours, but like we are called to hold the line. That's biblical. We are called to hold the line. And I'm not going to do that in camo out on a battlefield. I'm going to do that at home with my babies and with my voice on the internet. So we all have a place, to hold the line. And that's what we're called to do. The boiling point is real. People are pissed off. People are exhausted. It is little things that we're under attack for. Like I mean I was going to talk about this anyway, but I've been an anti-vaxxer for a very long time. And that was a very lonely, it's been hard because I was just an abomination to life. I was a terrible parent. I mean, the judgments, the everything, everyone trying to scare me into doing this. I would have to sit in 2-hour meetings at the Department of Health and DHS or whatever that is. I would have to sit in these meetings where they're just bombard me with a huge binder. I mean, a huge binder of notes to tell me what's going to happen if I don't vaccinate my kids, you know? Like it is it's a whole thing. And so now I was just telling Rory um Fauci came out of his little hole. I don't know how this guy like I don't know how he's not in prison, but he got with this scientist, and they've decided anti-science conspiracies, and that's us, anti-vaxxers, we have become a deadly organizational movement. Uh-huh. His words.
That's what he thinks. That's what he's trying to put together. He's laying the
Yes.
groundwork. Yeah, that makes
And
sense to me. Okay.
we it's violent behavior to protest the forced the mandates. So this video clip of Fauci crawling out of the hole, he's uh he's warning of another pandemic. Shocker. We know that the pandemic was a test.
100%.
It was the beta test. And
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about a few tests today because there's some No Kings protests going on this weekend. Okay. The first one they did was definitely a beta test. They've got all these little beta tests, and we're useful idiots because we just play into the hand. We're just doing what they want us to do. But he's warning about this. And if you have not learned the first time about his soulless motives, the fact that he let your loved ones die alone by using lies and scare tactics and manipulation, he even admitted the distancing was wrong. They wanted to bring in martial law for anybody who was an anti-vaxxer. You guys remember this?
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
You guys understand, like, these global elites have said it time and time again. They're going to use viruses for global control if there's ever an uprising against them. They have said this to our faces. They have said this. I'm not making this up. It's not a conspiracy. But Fauci in the headlines to make us a new pretty little shot for what's to come. And, I heard someone when I'm listening to these today, it said Fauci, his name in Italian or something means like Grim Reaper sickle or something. He's evil. He's evil on evil on evil. And you are naive, and you are not holding the line as a solid Christian if you're going to be ignorant about the fact they're going to try this. They're going to do it.
Yeah. It's coming. We know that another pandemic is coming at some point. I mean, it's been they've tried it before. They tried it right before the last election, and it just didn't take. I mean, I don't see it really gaining a lot of momentum right now. I think they'll keep
Yeah.
dropping these nuggets for a while. If it doesn't have legs by the midterms, then they'll ramp it up really hard when in 3 years when Trump is done, because that's what they're really afraid of at this point. At this point, you can see the Fauci's coming out, and you can see these other developments happening where the Democrats are like, well, we're going to fight Trump tooth and nail for the next 3 years. But what we're
Right.
really afraid of is what comes next. Because if we don't turn the tide somehow and find a way to cheat our way out of this, well, then you're going to have 8 years of ants, and then God knows what after that. So,
Yeah.
that could change the world back. But for right now, they're really hoping they can just do a one and done with Trump and then get back to business as usual,
Right.
persecuting everybody. So I'm not
And
surprised to see that, but I hadn't seen Fauci yet. So that
yeah,
was new.
he's out there.
Yeah.
He just looks evil. Like, you just can see he that is like a demon. He just looks, his everything about him, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, he's not a good person. Not a good person. He's definitely lost. And I don't think it's going to be successful because, you guys, there's too many of us that are awake to this. Like, we've unplugged from the matrix. Like, we're awake. So you have to have these conversations. And it's not about being afraid. I mean, we've had the flu forever. Then COVID came and the flu disappeared. So we just traded it out, right? Like, what happened to the flu, y'all? But
Right.
yeah, stuff happens. And honestly, your health is your responsibility. There are things you can do to make sure that you are functioning at your highest potential. Very, very simple things, you know?
Yeah.
Like, stop scrolling on the internet. Stop scrolling for the doom and gloom. That's my job. Okay. That's my job. I scroll for you so I can keep you informed and let you know, like, at the end, the good guys do win. God cleared this out for us. We're just called to hold the line. But this No Kings protest Saturday, this is they are literally pushing this uprising. And I've said this before. I'm going to say this. I'm going to keep talking about the Podesta plan because, first of all, how did I not know about this until like 2 weeks ago? You know, it's
Right.
really, really happening. And there was a movie made about the Podesta plan. It's called Civil War. Go watch it because everything is going to align with what is happening because
Yeah.
that's what they have to do.
What now these No Kings things? That's I saw
Yeah.
something. Is that primarily in Wisconsin? Like
Oh,
all over the
please.
place? Is that where it's going on?
We're having like five right here in my happy little corner of Michigan.
Seriously. So
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
trying to do this nationwide all over the place and
nationwide,
everybody.
all over the place. And so you've got these people on mainstream media, the conversations that they're having is that they're encouraging people to turn against the military, to encourage people to protest against ICE and to continue like they're pushing this uprising like it's supposed to be some big violent whatever. I mean, the Democratic Party is founded by the globalists, okay? And they're dead set on civil war. The truth is everywhere. I don't think it's going to be successful.
No, they'll put it out like it was. They'll
Yeah,
cover a couple of, big events where people actually
correct.
showed up and then they'll claim it was everywhere, but it's these haven't been successful. But at some point we have to start enforcing laws.
That's what I'm saying. And
That's the
I
part
mean,
that's getting to me here.
the media manipulation though is it's so mind-blowing to me how many people are really still falling for what they're doing. Like they've become puppets, and I hear this conversation there, this guy today that I'm listening to, he's like, even the ICE and National Guard don't want to be here cleaning up our crime-ridden cities. That's a lie. I know. I've watched people on these posts because they promote jobs ICE is hiring. I watch these guys like, I'm in. I want to do this. I want to clean up the United States. Like they want to do this. And they're like, new kids aren't joining the military because they don't want to fight against people in the US. Not true. Let's clean up the
No,
crime-ridden cities. Let's get rid of this. Everyone is exhausted. We have reached our boiling point. Your plan is failing. Chuck Schumer, word for word, called for a forceful uprising. Word for word.
yeah,
And I mean,
that's
they're
what I mean. That's
talking about
inciting violence.
all of it.
That is absolutely inciting violence. Period.
Yep.
And nobody's being held accountable right now. This is we talk about this a lot, but at some point there's a tipping point.
Yeah.
At some point, somebody, Pritzker or Brandon in Chicago or one of these
Yep.
idiots, does something way too far over the line, and it turns bad. And
Right.
at that point, somebody has to go to jail. It's not about, because they disagree or because they're in some other party. I mean, look, I'm all about law
Right.
and order. There are Republicans who are, on my list of people that, I'm not happy with
No,
with the stuff they're putting out there.
not at
But
all.
we have to take care of the things we have to take care of. And, to just continually try and cause unrest and hurt the country, it just makes no sense. When John Fetterman is the one Democrat making sense right now, that really
Oh,
has to make your head.
the world has flipped upside down.
What in the world is
Like
going on?
the world has flipped upside down.
If
And
you're a reasonable liberal and you're trying to stay somewhere in the middle, your poster guy is the guy in the black hoodie.
right,
I mean, that's all you got.
right.
I don't. Wow.
And the Podesta plan states this, about this Western alliance too. So this is all part of that. Like they're really launching this alliance. They're proud about it, holding up maps. And they have the East Coast joining them after they start. Blue cities, they're going to sweep across the states, uh, slaughtering people that they call white supremacists, however that looks for you. Even the paid useful idiots are vocal about this happening, and fake flags are coming all over the place. I never really understood what a fake flag was, and
Okay.
it
Yeah,
is it. I mean,
go ahead.
my understanding is it's going to be like the Democratic Party is going to do something to blame Trump. They're going to, Alex Jones says they're going for um, black colleges. That's on his radar for a hit, and or what else was he saying? Just I mean, there's a million things they can do and then blame him. So that's a false flag when someone does something to make someone
Right.
else look bad, really.
That's so crazy because Trump has never done anything that's anti-black, that is, racially motivated. He hasn't done anything that is anti-gay.
Right.
None of these things.
The other party
He,
has.
yeah, he's not against any of that stuff. He really
No.
is live and let live, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
legislate,
Yeah.
stuff and make everybody else be okay with stuff. Look, you live your life the way you want to live it, but get out of Congress.
Right.
Get this stuff out of here. So
Yep.
interesting stuff. The false flag. I like that.
Yeah.
That's something to keep an eye on.
And I mean, it's coming. I get that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that have potentially happened already that they're trying to manipulate as that. But the healthcare protecting migrants, this is the starting point for this alliance, you guys. Like in the movie and in real life, it's they're making that a thing. And it's crazy. My friend, we had a little listener request. My friend texted me about how Oregon now spends more on programs offering free healthcare for illegal immigrants than they spend on the state police. $500
Not surprising.
million
Yeah.
dollars more, according to their budget.
Not surprising at all.
That's embarrassing. That's
Yeah.
embarrassing for you guys. It's
That's
embarrassing
it.
they're letting it happen.
That was just addressed by Mayor Brandon in Chicago
Yeah.
when he declared the state of emergency because they're out of funds. We have no funds for, our citywide healthcare and fire and all this other stuff. All of our funds
Right.
have been depleted. And you're like, well, boss, what did you do here?
Right.
You're running the city. So
Right.
there's nobody to blame but you, pal. And if you ran out of funds, somebody mismanaged them. When you look at the amount spent on illegal immigrants and the housing and the healthcare and everything else, and then
Yep.
you go, but all of our actual citizens can't get healthcare now?
Yeah.
This is how can anybody be voting for this?
Right.
I just don't understand. So now he's going to the federal government going, how come you won't give us a handout? And they're like, really?
Yeah.
You're trying to get people to kill our ICE officers out there, bro, and you want us to give you money?
Right.
I, I don't understand how people vote for these things,
Yeah. Because they're
except that they really don't ever
brainwashed.
hear it. Yeah, they're brainwashed. They don't want to hear it
Brainwashed.
because there's not
And
enough
then,
voices yet.
yeah, you've got social media freaking out because the biggest headline I read today, and this is, trust me, like, I'm sad about this. ICE killed a dog. Okay. Of course, that I'm not trying to, nobody wants family pets to be slaughtered in this. Okay. But can I ask you a question, you guys? You are crying about a dog that ICE killed while they're trying to enforce immigration issues and getting illegals processed out of our country. What about all of the people that have died of fentanyl overdose that has come across the border since our borders have been open? What about all of the illegals that have killed American citizens, criminals with records? That number is astonishing. The criminals that come here and have multiple charges killing American people. Like, how come we're not talking about the copious amounts of bullshit that has happened with the open borders, but like we're going to have an uprising and we're going to protest because ICE killed a dog?
I feel bad for the dog too,
I
but I'm
do.
with you.
I mean,
Y- Nobody ever asked that question that you're asking right now either. Um, why? What does the left have to gain by keeping criminals out of jail, by allowing fentanyl to come in and wipe
mm-hmm,
out, portions of the population, by constantly following policies that destroy cities and increase welfare? Um, what do they have to gain? And I think nobody ever asked that question. And I think the answer would really surprise a lot of folks. I don't know if anybody out there wants to take a shot at it, but feel free to send us a message, in terms of what they would gain.
yeah.
I have my opinion, but
I
I just thought
mean,
I'd throw that out there for consideration.
no, I do want to hear why you guys think they would do this on purpose. And I want you, like, if you're a Democrat and you believe like this, like, why do you want this? What does it do for you? And that, this criminal thing, these judges, I don't, I just don't even know. Like, You guys, how many
right?
times am I going to come on here and read a headline about a judge who let a criminal out? And I watched this lady today. You guys know the kid, Big Balls, Elon's kid that was in
Yep.
the Doge thing, got jumped by two guys. Judge lets them out. There's no accountability. And she says, I'm not here to punish, I'm here to rehabilitate.
Unbelievable.
That's a straight up quote she said.
Yeah, that's so unbelievable because it's
Even
just
Elon called her
absolutely
out.
not her job at all.
No. He was like, you're just a racist judge making racist decisions. Because if it was two white kids beat up a black kid and you had a black judge, those white kids are going to jail.
Yep. Bye bye. Oh
He's
my
not
God.
wrong. It's terrible. It's terrible. We're
We
useful
have
idiots.
we have people who are just making up laws too, and I think that's a carryover from the last 4 or 5 years,
Yes.
when people just started doing that and there was no repercussion for it, and they realized, hey, we can just make up laws, we can call things mandates, we can say you must or else, and everybody's just going to comply.
Right.
And hey, if I tell you this is the law and I want you to do X, Y, and Z, and you do X, Y, and Z, then does it really matter if it was actually a law? I mean, no,
Right.
because you followed it. So I
I
guess it
mean,
became a
blue
law just
states
now.
are, they're literally saying
Absurd.
they're going to pull apart from federal law and make up their own rules. They're doing this. They're saying it and they're doing it.
They're doing it. Yeah, I know.
They're saying it
At
and they're doing it.
at some point, the people who are in charge have to be brought up on charges. So I mean, we're gonna get to see whether or not Pam Bondi really has the chops to pull this off. Because
Yes.
honestly, if you're a governor and you are breaking the law and instructing everyone under you to break the law, you are the one that is liable.
Yeah.
Period. Uh, that's it. And so somebody's got and look, due process. Give that side their due process they want. Arrest them,
Right.
send them to court, take it all over the Supreme Court if you want, but
Yep.
it needs to start being enforced. Until somebody gets their hand slapped really hard, everybody's going to keep reaching into the cookie jar and getting whatever they want. It's not okay.
Well,
Not
everybody
okay.
in this country seems to love other countries so much. Let's not slap their hand. Let's cut it off. I mean, that's the shit they do in other countries. The countries that you're crying about, the countries that you're trying to make replicas of in little cities in America.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mamdani, we want to follow the Constitution. We want to uphold the Constitution. We
Yeah.
we honor that, even if it stings sometimes.
100%. Mamdani. There we go. Mamdani, the guy running for mayor in New York. This hit me because on the face of it, it's easy to go, the guy's crazy. He's pushing
Mm-hmm.
communist policies. He just came out and openly said that his plan that he's running on, his
Yeah.
platform, is that he's going to charge the wealthiest New Yorkers 52% income tax and use that to fund all of his programs. Um, and if you're going to vote for that, if you're in New York and you vote for that, you will no longer be New York. You will be the worst part of Detroit
Yeah.
in a few short years, because that's the policy that was followed there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been through both cities. I've been through the rough parts of Detroit personally,
Yeah.
and it was absolutely done by these same policies. Because what happens is, if you are one of the wealthiest New Yorkers and someone says, I'm going to take 52% of your income, you are one of the wealthiest New Yorkers. You are not stuck. Okay. If someone says that in Michigan or Indiana, you and I are kind of stuck. We can't
Yeah.
just walk out of our houses, pack up our stuff, leave somewhere else. I mean,
Yeah.
we have limitations.
Right.
If I'm one of the wealthiest people in Indiana, I can go anywhere I want. I
Right.
can pack up and leave. I I can give the house away. I don't need to sell it. I'm not worried about my equity if I'm
Right.
in that age range and if I'm in that tax bracket. So people are going to continue to leave. You already have the top New Yorkers, income wise, leaving New York,
Yep.
going to Florida, you
Yep.
know, leaving, and Texas. And so if that's happening, you're just going to make it happen even more. Margaret Thatcher said it best years and years ago. At some point, you run out of other people's money. So I wish this guy luck. You know,
Yeah.
my issue with this, and the reason I brought it up with you early, is, before the show, is because the reaction is awful.
Right.
The reaction from Trump is not something that's okay. And I, by and large, like a lot of what is going on, on that side of the aisle. However, if we're going to have credibility, we got to, call it out when it happens.
Right.
Trump absolutely cannot say, if you elect this guy, maybe you won't get your federal funding. That's election interference.
Yeah.
Point blank, simple, end of story. And it's illegal. He can't do that. You can't say, I'm not going to fund your city because you voted for the wrong guy. Not only that, it's one of the most dangerous precedents that you could possibly set for when Democrats come back into power,
Right.
because then the federal government can do that to every single conservative-led city in the whole country. And we've already proven that when it comes to spite, and getting revenge, that the Democrats always out-revenge their Republicans. The Republicans always turn the other cheek and try to say, oh, well, we don't want to be like that. And,
Right.
yada, yada. Democrats stick together, right,
Right.
wrong, or indifferent. They stick together. And so this is just so dangerous of a policy. Your thoughts, but I just think Trump's way off on this one.
Yeah. I also kind of don't blame the guy when they're literally saying that all the charges they brought up against him was just a coup. Like it was just an orchestrated plan. They've admitted it out loud in a quote. Like, yeah, what everything we did against Trump didn't work.
Right.
So,
True.
I mean, can we blame the guy? He's human. Like he's not a fan of dumb people and dumb things. So, but yeah, no, I agree. If we're gonna be the party that stands by the Constitution, then we have to stand by the Constitution, no matter what that looks like for us. And like Rory
Right.
said, I mean, at the end of the day, if New York is voting for that, that's their problem.
Good luck to him.
That's their
I wish,
problem.
wish him all the best.
And it makes my husband happy because one of my dreams has always been like, I've never been to New York. I would love to go just walk the streets, be there in Christmas. Girl, you could not pay me to go to New York right now.
Oh, God,
Nope.
no.
I'm over
No
that.
way.
That
Mm-mm.
fantasy is over. I'll watch my Hallmark movies and call it good because what in the world? Cities,
Yeah.
period. I mean, you can't. I'm not going to Chicago. I'm not going to Detroit. I'm not going to New York. I'm good. I'm good in my tiny little
Mhm.
corner here.
This is the homestead area, right? We're in the
Yeah.
flyover states, so to speak. Well, at least I
Right.
am. You're in a good area in your state,
Yeah.
but your state scares the hell out of me.
It's
I'm not
scary.
gonna play.
It is
So
scary. I mean,
it
I
really
literally
is.
can cross the border. So I'm kind of like I'm right on the border of Indiana. So we have a little safe zone. Just
Right.
skip across the border. During the pandemic, we did skip the border a lot because Indiana they didn't have Whitmer
No.
over
No,
there.
no, no.
So we had a little more freedom in Indiana. So we spent a lot of time there during the pandemic.
I don't blame you. I spent all my time here in Indiana
Yeah,
during the
very
pandemic.
smart.
They did not really lock us down. I mean, they did a lot of ridiculous stuff, but they
Yeah,
didn't lock us down. They let us work. They let us do what we had to do. The governor was reasonable and stood
right.
up against, the nonsense. So,
Yeah,
which was helpful. It was helpful, to get
right.
through that. It's another reason why I like it. I've always wanted to live either here or in Oklahoma because those are my two favorite states that I have lived in.
Yeah,
And, for right now, I'm good. I'll
yeah,
stay right here in Indiana. As
right,
long as soon as it turns blue,
right. Out.
bye.
I know.
Go somewhere else.
I mean, this voting map, I'm still bothered by the fact that Trump won by a landslide, obviously, and majority of people vote full party ticket. So I really don't understand how he got elected, but a lot of things didn't flip. Like I'm very confused about that. It doesn't make sense to me. Like how there's still blue control in a place where we all voted full party Republican ticket.
Yeah, there's a couple theories on that. And one
Cheating.
of them, well, you know, you look back at the
Okay.
2020 election, we can have that conversation all day long.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with this one, there were an abnormally large number of blue tickets that were turned in with Trump at the top, but then blue locally and on the way down. And part of that, I think, was because of the candidate. There were a lot of Democrats who were like, look, I want my local stuff to still be Democrat. I'm trying to still be Democrat, but man,
Ah.
this person, Kamala, is so bad. I can't in good, you know what? I just can't.
What Kamala
And
was the
we voted for Trump.
what did she say? She was the best candidate for presidency ever, or she
Ever.
said some Really crazy stuff.
Most
Wow.
qualified candidate for the
Yes.
presidency in history.
And these idiots,
Wow.
you guys,
Yeah.
you useful idiots, because you're out here protesting. Okay. Just a little insight. You're out here protesting a No King's Day protest after your party refused to hold a primary. You guys anointed Kamala without a single vote and then tried to remove Trump from the ballots after your illegal warfare scheme failed.
Hmm.
But yay, no King's Day.
Right. Well,
Wow.
they still tried to cheat. They still tried to cheat on election
Still
day,
tried
but
it. I know.
the conservatives were ready for it this time.
Yeah.
They had lawyers on call. They had court orders in their pockets, like
Yes.
already ready to go. And there were three places in Wisconsin. There were like two or three in Minnesota. There was one in Detroit downtown, and then there was one in Illinois where it
Yeah.
was just absolute blatant throwing people out, putting cardboard on the windows, just like in 2020. And they were ready for it this time. They weren't
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, what's happening? They were ready. So they got in, they shut it down, got the voting going again, and survived it. But they tried to do it again. They tried to pull those swing states. That's where they were concentrating their efforts. And
Gotcha.
yeah,
And we held
so
the
but
line. You guys,
mhm.
congratulations, because we held the line. We're here now, but it's not over. We still have
No, it's
a
not.
lot of stuff to muck out of this place. It's messy.
No.
That's why they call it the swamp, right? Because it's super messy. It's super messy.
100%. Absolutely 100%. It's not a coincidence with all of that went on in 2020 and this now
Yeah.
also. But it's not a coincidence that the only states that Kamala won were the ones where voter ID was not required and illegal aliens were allowed to vote.
Right. Of
She did
course.
not win a state, did not win a
Yeah.
state where illegal aliens were not allowed to vote. So anybody who looks at that objectively
Yeah.
goes, I wonder why the Democrats want illegal aliens to stay in the country and have all these rights and get all this money
Yeah.
because it's their voting block.
It's their voting block. Well,
Their
who
voting
is
block.
it? I know I read this. I didn't lock it in the vault, so I can't even they're giving illegals IDs and they're going to
Hmm.
be able to take it to the voter poll. I don't know who's doing that or where.
Walls.
Oh gosh, that's not a
Walls
surprise.
approved
Come
that.
on, buddy.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
The manly guy, right? Mr. Masculinity for the Democratic Party. So,
wow.
um, yeah, whew, that guy.
Wow.
I gotta love that guy. So we got plenty of Republicans that I shake my head at too. Believe me,
Oh,
and I
come
just kind of
on.
go, "How in the
Yeah.
world did you ever get elected?" But this guy really, he does kind of take the cake.
Yeah.
So when you actually just make up your military service,
Oh,
you just
like,
make it
isn't
up.
that
Man,
illegal
I was a
though?
war
Like,
hero.
isn't it
It
illegal
is.
to do stuff like that?
It is. Yeah, it's
Again,
called
here we
stolen
are.
valor. Stolen valor. You're not allowed to do it.
I
You
don't
just
get
can't.
it. If I go out right now and I go to the mall and I walk out with a bunch of stuff, I'm gonna get arrested. Like, why am I held accountable?
Shoplifting? Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah, you
I
are.
don't understand. Like, if I go out and commit a crime, I am going to be held accountable. My dog, you guys, I've talked about that on this podcast, I think, where I literally have a misdemeanor on my record because my dog got out of the gate. A misdemeanor. And I had a
Yeah.
warrant for 400. They were going to take me to jail. Like,
For not controlling your dog. Yeah.
for my dog. And it's not like I opened the gate and said, "Hey, Bodie, go kill everybody in the streets." Nothing happened. He didn't hurt anyone. He looks scary, but he's a big baby. But like, I was held accountable. I was treated like a criminal. I'm in a courtroom setting where I'm watching DUI after DUI. The judge is just like, "Oh, okay, no bond for you, no bond for you, no bond for you." I had to pay $400. These people are drinking and driving. Okay.
Right.
Uh, I'm puddled in with all of them. The judge is just like, nothing, says nothing to them. I get up there, I get a lecture. You realize how bad this could have been. You really aren't going to say that to these dumb ass people who are drinking and driving? Like you can't tell them the repercussions of what could have happened, not just for themselves. They could have taken someone's family. But I'm the one
Yeah.
that gets the lecture. So the world is upside down. These people are getting away with stuff and I honestly just don't, it in my brain it just doesn't make sense how everyone's getting away with it. Like how is Fauci not paying for crimes against humanity? How is he able to weasel out of a hole and just his disgusting grin, you guys, this video clip, this terrible grin of just like, it's coming. Yeah, you sneaky little devil. We sure do. I don't get it.
My with Fauci, I wanted to believe the guy when this all first came out. A couple of people have told the story too. I wanted to believe the guy. I was like, look, he's got the unpleasant job of having to deliver this bad news. So I didn't want to be anti-Fauci at the beginning.
Yeah.
And even before all of this other stuff came out about what really happened and the lab and where it came from and yada yada, he testified before Congress during the what was it the George was it King? Uh, no, help me, Floyd, the
Floyd,
George
yeah.
Floyd riots and stuff that were going on, and the people in Congress are trying to say, look, if we're going to shut down the whole world because we're trying to prevent the spread of COVID, then we have to shut down these demonstrations and these riots and everything else.
Right.
And so they're like, okay, Dr. Fauci, you've said we have to close this, we have to close this. He even said that you had to shut down baseball, which was primarily outdoors. The
Mm-hmm.
guys on the field are already 6 feet apart from each other.
All right.
It was like, come on, really? And he said, hey, the risk is too great for the people in the dugout. And we really need to shut down Major League Baseball. And then they said, okay, well, if the risk is too great for that, then you're telling me that, you know, 400 people standing shoulder to shoulder, none of them wearing masks at a protest for this George Floyd stuff,
Right.
that is okay. And he backs up and he goes, well, that's not something that I'm really can give you an opinion on because that's a political question. And the senator's like, it's a health question. Is that okay or should we shut those down? Well, I really can't answer that. And it's like right there, end of story. Lost all respect for the guy. He absolutely said, this is the side I'm on. This is the color of tie I wear. I'm blue to my core, and I want this stuff to go on, and I'm going to try and get the rest of this shut down. If that was okay, then that meant all the rest of the shutdown stuff was BS.
Yep.
And then you kind of stop and you go, wait a minute. There's all these riots going on. All these people are okay. Nobody's, there's not massive deaths coming from all these riots.
Right.
So is this real? Nope. you know,
Nope.
they just shot themselves in the foot too many times to gain the political advantage that they got. So they're going to have a hard time pushing that agenda again. It's going to be really tough.
They are. And you guys need to encourage people to speak up and to not be afraid and to not let them manipulate you. I mean, that first week it came out, I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? 2 weeks. 2 weeks we're home. And I'm like, you guys, we can't go out. I don't know what's going on. And then I like something clicked and I'm like, wow, we're stupid. We are stupid. Watching people with their masks, even now today, I just can't even keep a straight face when I see someone walking around with a mask. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
What is going on?
No,
But there,
it was ridiculous.
yeah,
But
there is another epidemic definitely going on right now because I feel like we have this whole generation of believers who are posting verses but not living it.
ah, you're talking
Like,
figuratively. There's an epidemic going on. I
yes,
got you. Great segue.
yes, because you guys, I was going to be honest here. If your faith doesn't cost you anything, it probably isn't faith. And the devil doesn't care if you call yourself Christian as long as you never look like him. And I think you guys don't understand because it really is not about, I don't care if anyone in the world thinks or believes I'm a Christian. I don't care. I get a lot of hate messages. I'm an abomination. You can't cuss and talk about Jesus. I get a lot reading the Bible with my kids, and I still say shit. And I get a lot. Like, you are not a real Christian. I don't care what you think about my relationship. I care that God is going to know my name when I get there. I care that he's going to say, Brandon, every day did you wake up and did you do the things? Did I do the things? Yes. Am I still a complete sinner and I don't deserve any of this? Absolutely. Humans are disgusting. We got a savior, though. So if you're going to be loud about sin when it's someone else's, you don't get to be quiet when it comes to your own. Like, people are so worried about being liked and so worried about fitting in and accepted and being the party of peace. The party of evil is really what it is. You don't get to cherry pick scripture to fit your feelings. You don't, I had a great conversation in my political group yesterday, and this lady she said something about, you're a Christian. And I said, yeah, I no matter how you feel about Trump, I voted for policies. For policies. And she's like, there's no way that he supports Christian policies. Well, the Bible makes it very clear that the Fed shouldn't have a hand in raising our kids. Their overreach when it comes to education, their overreach when it comes to what is going on, like, it's been insane. That gets shut down, my feelings are not hurt. We were called to raise our kids, not to hand them over to the states. Right? There's a lot of policies that he has that even the borders, you guys, you can't support open borders. The Bible never supported open borders. Heaven is not an open border. Being nice and kind is not enough. It's not going to be like, oh, you were nice to your neighbor. You were standing up for women's rights so they could kill babies. Sure, come on in, honey. Come on in. I created you with a penis and you chopped it off and went against everything I created you to be. But yes, come on in. Come on in. Demons lining up. I mean, I said it Tuesday. Like, you just don't get to identify as an angel or as a Christian. That's not how it works. You are called to be authentic. That means you're going to talk with truth, and you're going to ruffle feathers. You guys, I'm getting called a lot of names today on the internet. I see it coming through on the top right screen of my computer because I posted something a little feisty. So I've got some messages coming in. And like, at first, I'll be honest, my heart starts to elevate a little bit. And I'm like, dang, that kind of sucks. It does kind of suck. But then at the core of who I am, I know what is right. And I know I don't get to be quiet about it. And if that means that I'm going to get called names, then that's the cross I can bear. Just saying.
Well said. When it comes to those, comments, remember, bless,
Yeah.
block, delete.
Release. Yeah. Yep.
Goodbye.
Bless and release.
So,
My block list, you guys,
yep.
is in. If I had $1 for everybody I had blocked, I could retire my family, your married kids.
There you
I
go.
mean, I would have it made. But you
And you
guys,
still
Jesus
have
didn't
hundreds
die
of
so
thousands
we
of
could play
views.
nice. Yeah, exactly.
You're still getting all the views you need. You're still getting the message out. You
Yeah.
don't need that kind of hate. You don't need to embrace
No.
that and
No.
help them spread it.
No. Not at
No,
all. Not at
no.
all.
I love your point. Love what you're saying. You want me to take us home on this then?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
it.
In the interest of time and to let everybody get about their day and go be productive citizens. And
Yep.
the if you claim to be a follower of the Quran and you are going to be talking about your Muslim faith, you absolutely cannot say that you are a devout Muslim. Oh, but you know what? I like pork, so I'm going to go ahead and eat it.
Mm.
You don't get to say, hey, I'm going to be Jewish, but I'm not going to observe, these traditions and these holidays. You don't get to say, I'm going to be a Christian and I'm just going to follow maybe 8 of the 10 commandments because those other 2, those are a little inconvenient. If you're going to call yourself a member of one of these, religions. And I don't care what your belief system is. And I don't care if you're a Christian or not. But I've had it up to here with the people who are saying, well, I'm still a Christian, but the Bible is written the way the Bible's written. You're either following it or you're not. And you don't need to judge anybody else for not following it. But don't sit there in your piety and claim to be a, God-fearing Christian
Mm-hmm.
if you are voting for people who are putting into practice things that absolutely go against the Bible. That's your right to do that. But if you're putting people in power to make the decisions for you and for your neighbor, and you know that their position is that they're going to kill unborn children, that they're going to act a certain way, that they're going to allow this in schools, that they're going to take over your kids, that they're going to allow kids to be mutilated. These are things that are not okay. These are things that the Bible speaks about. You know, you can believe whatever you want to believe, but if that's who you're voting for, then you are putting into practice the work of the devil, period. So you don't get to sit back and say, well, I'm a Christian also, but no, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And I just wanted to kind of close with that because, if you're going to be a Christian, then be one. And
Yes.
if you're not, that's fine. But then don't say you are one. Okay.
Correct.
I don't get to do it and then, pick and choose. It's like you said, it takes some sacrifice. It isn't easy to be a Christian or everybody would do it.
Right.
You can't just say, I like Jesus, so I am a Christian. No, there are things you need to do. You have to hold up your end of this bargain. Or when you get to the pearly gates, he's not going to know you.
And that's the
And that's,
scariest.
that's
That's
it.
terrifying.
That's it. Yeah. So that's all I had.
Get your name in the book, kids. This is a great show. This was a great show. You guys make sure you share this out. Okay. Share it out and hold the line. Love you guys.